sweet, crispy new sail, and we're rip-roaring at 6 knots.
There goes full throttle. Centerboard has redeemed itself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Last time on Sailing Soulianis.
We're not in a boatyard. Woo! We're going about 9 miles, and then we're gonna sit outside a lock, wait for high tide, so there's gonna be enough water on the other side of the lock. But yeah,
We're out.
we're out.
There's the lock.
How's the depth?
Still 7.
Are you putting on the anchor alarm?
See, look. Now it's telling us that we're too far away. We're not.
Has anyone found an anchor alarm app that actually works? Because we're still looking.
What's that one called?
I think this is the one that we went to go shut off. This is called Anchor Pro. Remember when we were in Kai Costa? It was an anchor alarm app on his iPhone that he had plugged into his stereo, so it made it really, really loud.
So we are like 50 feet away from that lock. So tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock we plan to hit it so we can ride the high tide on the way out. There's this little dude over here who's been sunning himself. We brought up our noisy boat and dropped anchor, and he's still there, so he's giving me time to put on the telephoto.
Alright, you want to try and hook up the new jib before we lose all our light?
Yeah.
And then all the bugs are going to come out.
Okay.
Alright, so we've just left the boatyard today, and we have yet to hoist our new sail from Precision Sails. We're going to get this thing up so that we can take it through the paces tomorrow as we head upwind.
Yeah.
Which is what we bought this thing for. We're going to be doing a lot of upwind sailing, heading east into the trades as we go to the Bahamas, and then
And just general more high wind sailing
more
that
high wind
are
sailing.
150 or 155, whatever we used to have. Jenna was just way too big for. So.
And tomorrow's going to be a perfect test for it. We've got east, southeast winds, 10 to 15. We got to tune our rigging too because we've just sort of put it up to hold the mast upright, but it's still pretty loose. So let's dig into this thing. We haven't even opened this thing.
Yeah.
Santa delivered today. Gonna tear into it like Christmas morning. What do we got in here? Oh. Whoa! A new sail!
I don't think we can use any of that. We've opened the bag, looked inside,
Said,
and
yep,
thought,
there's a sail.
sweet, crispy new sail.
Look at that. All right, we're not gonna take this out though. We gotta wait till we launch.
Oh, what a
Anticlimactic.
anticlimactic. And there's no way that we're going to take it out in the nasty boatyard. Also, we weren't allowed to raise it in the boatyard, so.
That is crispy. Don't drop that in the water. This is the foam luff.
Okay.
Ooh, look at that sexy.
Silver.
Silver. It looks pretty freaking solid.
Okay. Dang, look at that. That silver is the same color as our Bimini. It's not going to match our mainsail cover or our Dodger, but since we've been down here in the lower latitudes, that royal blue color is so hot. There's no way we could have built a Bimini with that royal blue. We just would have been baking underneath it.
We gotta make sure the sail doesn't pick up and rip the camera off the boat.
Yeah.
Cool.
See the luck?
Yeah.
That looks so nice. Love, I just entered and exited a lock all by myself.
Yeah. What's the depth?
5, 4, 9, 4, 8.
Wow. Sun's just cracking.
Mr. Fluffy Pelican. He was just stretching his neck.
Oh, it's looking like a beautiful day.
Yeah. Top of the morning to you. We're in the middle of Charlotte Harbor. We motored for 2 hours this morning and then we dropped the hook because we needed to finish tenting the rigging before we sail for the first time in like 8 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're sailing.
All right, we are going to unfurl our new headsail for the first time.
Woo! Oh, that was it?
That's the end of it.
That's the end of it?
Yeah, crazy, huh?
Oh my gosh, that's nuts.
So small. We just hit 20. We're doing 40 degrees apparent wind with 20 knots, and we're going 5.3 against a head current. That's speed over ground against the current of probably 3/4 of a knot. We would not have been doing this with our other 155, that's for sure. What's our apparent wind angle?
45?
So what we're trying to get rid of is that flutter at the top. I can move the car one forward. I mean, we are sailing as close to the wind as possible right now. We got a single reef in the main. We've rolled in our new 110 about 2 rolls, just so we lost the foam luff. And see this? I think I don't have enough backstay tension. I think that might be part of the issue with the fluttering of the sail. Because that to me looks like that forestay's dipping quite a lot and pulling from right there. What's our speed?
5.9. I just saw 6. 5.9.
5.9 upwind against
Woo!
the current.
Man. 6. It's our first sail.
Ew!
20 knots, new head sail. And we're rip roaring at 6 knots.
Upwind with auto driving.
With the channel marker right in front of us. We
All right,
should probably go get it.
Let's go.
Ready?
Yep.
Tacky.
Look at this one more time. I think the rigging's pretty close. Is we're gonna start to turn in. We'll drop the jib and then we'll work on dropping the main. And I'm gonna go put the lazy jacks out. Ain't nothing lazy about this shit. Well, this is night 2 at anchor after launching. We're in Cayo Costa. This is our favorite anchorage so far of pretty much anywhere that we've been. It's just so peaceful and calm. And the only way to get here is by boat. There are some tour boats that come here, but it's just a really nice, comfy place to hang out. We're sad that we can't stay here more than just one night. We didn't even go ashore this time. This is the 3rd time we've anchored here. We are moving on. We're trying to make Fort Myers Beach today to meet up with my parents, and we're trying to get to Key West, or the Keys, Marathon maybe, kind of as fast as possible while my parents are still around. they're going to drive down in Chip and meet us, and then take him north for the rest of the spring until we meet again. And they have not seen the Keys ever, so we're going to make it to Fort Myers Beach tonight, and then hopefully on to Marathon or Key West with my dad. But we need to get out of here because the tide's dropping pretty fast, and there's a tight spot on the way out.
All right, that's about a quarter of the way down.
Perfect. Yeah, you can totally feel it. The boat kind of stood upright a little bit more, so we weren't heeling quite as much, and the nose isn't falling off at all anymore. We're able to hold, we're like dead 30 to the wind. The wheel's pretty balanced right now. We're falling off a little bit, so we could maybe drop it a little more if we wanted to, but centerboard has redeemed itself for all the troubles.
Just in this one sail?
No, this is one of the times that it's really nice to have, though.
Yeah.
So we're sailing only under jib and 12 knots apparent at 30 degrees apparent wind angle. So that's quite nice. And we're doing 4.7.
You got a stowaway. He rode with us all the way down from Port Charlotte. Oh, hi.
Fort Myers.
Fort Myers. What was the story?
We had a bunch of zip ties that I stuffed in the winch handle holder when we left the boat over the summer. And when we finally just launched the boat, I went to go pull them out. Out he plopped and fell onto the floor. So then he kind of hopped around and hid on the boat overnight, and we let him stay overnight. And as we were about to take off, I kind of shooed him off the boat, and he hopped into the water and climbed up onto the piling. And I knew as soon as he climbed on the piling, I was like, "You little punk, you're going to get back on our boat." And so after 2 days of being on the boat, we just pulled out the winch handle this morning, and out he plopped again. So he's one-legged.
Yeah, what's really sad is he's losing a foot. One of his little feet, it's all black. So
we're taking pity on him. So
I'm
we've
gonna
got
see
a
if I can-
one-legged frog on our boat.
We have a three-legged frog. No, one-legged frog. Because he has two arms.
I don't know.
I don't know. Do frogs have four legs or two arms and two legs? I don't know. You ready for the battery?
I think so. The battery floats. So.
Does it really?
Yeah.
That is awesome. Oh.
Sick. Welcome to the world, Spirit.
Back in the boatyard, we'd taken delivery of our new electric outboard, the Spirit 1.0 from ePropulsion. This was our first time trying it out.
All right, well.
It's on?
Yeah. Did you hear how loud it is?
It's loud as I'll get out here because what are we in, the miserable mile or something?
Yeah.
This is one of the busiest parts of Fort Myers.
Oh, this thing is killer. It's got some thrust.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do a spin for me around the boat. Well, we won't be planing with this,
No.
but
It'll get us to where we need to go. Here goes full throttle. That's pretty darn fast. Our dinghy motor is running right now. Food, 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 food. This is everything we just bought today. This is not, well, not the wrenches we have. This is everything we had in the fridge.
well,
Mostly.
half of it we all got new today, but yeah, a lot of the stuff we had in the fridge. We are semi-provisioning for the Bahamas right now because Kirk's parents are visiting us in Florida and they have a Costco card. So we went with them to Costco today and got a ton of dry goods and non-perishables. And then we went to the grocery store and got a bunch of
Produce.
perishables. Yeah, so that's why this is full. But
Oh yeah, food.
yeah, we'll definitely be going to the grocery store, you know, a bunch more times because we're going to be probably spending a month in Marathon in the Keys before we actually get to the Bahamas. So most of this stuff is going to go right into the V-berth, I think, which we've actually never used for food storage. But
Yeah,
I
that's
think
a weird
we have.
place to put it.
Well, that's our main like extra deep storage.
Yeah.
We don't really have any other storage besides this back there, which is where we keep our spinnaker.
That's our toy garage.
Well, yeah, no, I meant like underneath, but
We've
yeah.
got a kiteboard here, a surfboard there, our solar panels that are going to go up on our bimini eventually here and here, our skateboards. It would have been nice to finish that shelf in the aft section above or below the rudder thing, and
Yeah.
we could have put that Rubbermaid and strapped it in there
Yeah.
and put food in.
That
But
would have been cool.
that's all right.
Another project,
Another
another day. So we have 2 layers to our giant fridge. It's pretty hard to get to the bottom.
What's happening?
Up until this point, we had jugs of water stored down there because we had nothing else to put in there. But now we've got a bunch of cheese and bubbly water, tonic, ginger beer. This little sneaky piece slides underneath our freezer box like that. And then we've got 2 more pieces.
And those are split, so we don't have to take out everything in the fridge to get
Yeah.
down below.
So it's really nice. We can just take out this part and then reach in there. There we go. Now we gotta load layer 2.
Not doing a good job of steering and filming.
Oh, that was so freaking cool.
Alright, we just got a package in today. I think it's our sail. We're super excited. That was so lame.
Oh, I thought I was rocking a little bit more.
Pop out and say, on this episode of Sailing Soulianis.
I'm not gonna be able to say that.
Just say on this episode of Sailing Soulianis.
After I open it?
Yeah.
Or from the box?
Like as you pop from the box.
So lame. On this episode of Sailing Soulianis, an unboxing.